up so often. My experience is that it takes most people longer to set up their confession than it takes to actually confess. Kim, however, eventually got around to pouring out her heart. It turns out that she had made some really poor relationship choices over the past year and a half. She had been involved sexually with 3 different men, 2 of which had been married at the time of her relationship with them. She was sorry, broken, repentant. But she was also confused. She sobbed, "Why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep hurting myself and the people around me? Why? Why?" While this statistic is unsubstantiated, I would guess that I have no answer for 90% of the questions that are asked in my office. Sure, I've got guesses and opinions, but after 18 years of ministry, I have to admit that I often feel more lost today than when I started. But as Kim and I continued to talk that day, there was a major theme that emerged: her past. Kim had spent a good portion of her life trying to win her father's attention, his approval, and ultimately, his love. She shared with me story after story of how she fell short of his expectations and failed to show up on his radar. Interestingly enough, Kim's first affair was with her boss. As we talked about that relationship, I learned that it started because he was simply kind, understanding, and genuinely concerned about her. These were all qualities she wished her father would have had. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not trying to excuse the decisions that followed. I'm not trying to pin this on her father. I just want to point out that we can't deny the role her past wounds were playing in her current decisions. A heart-rending thing about us humans is that we seem to be hardwired to replay the past, especially when our past includes pain and disappointment. We all have natural inclinations and, at times, compulsions to allow our past to deeply impact our present. And your past is not your past if it's still impacting your present. Ever wonder why we make a handful of New Year's resolutions every year but rarely keep them? And if we do, we almost never see a lasting change? Ever wonder why we keep repeating the same mistakes over and over? Ever wonder why we have such a difficult time maintaining healthy relationships? Of course you have. We all have. Is it because we're not disciplined enough? Is it because we don't want it bad enough? While the answer to either of those questions could obviously be yes, I think it's much deeper than that. When we keep struggling with the gnawing question of, why am I not getting what I want in life? One of the questions behind it may be, what am I still carrying with me from my past? Whether our pain is close to the surface or hidden deep within our hearts, what happened in our past, if not dealt with properly, is more than likely crippling us from becoming who we were created to become. But the good news is, who we were yesterday doesn't have to limit who we can be today. Some of my most popular messages over the years have been on loving others. I'm not sure I have ever met someone who didn't want to love others more radically. I believe many people listen to these messages on love with hopes of being inspired to live a life of love. And trust me, I know how to deliver messages that inspire people to love more. But I'm afraid there's a deeper problem. While many of us have been inspired to love more and have set our hearts on loving more, some of us, in fact, fail miserably when it comes to loving more. The problem is not inspiration. The problem is not what I call want to. The problem is we may not have the wholeness to love and live the way we want to. I'm learning that everyone needs healing. Everyone has been hurt. Some of us have been hurt worse than others, but no one escapes this life without some emotional bruising along the way. And if we haven't dealt with the hurt from our past, it will continue to impact everything we touch. In other words, if we don't learn to transform the pain, we'll just transfer it. Your secret sin nobody knows about. The broken marriage you went through. The sexual abuse you suffered. The surprise divorce your parents got. The miscarriage you experienced. The bully who made your freshman year miserable. Your overbearing, critical parent. Any or all of these things can and most